With the overwhelming amount of negativity in the world today, I thought it was time to take this Friday Agile, Not So Agile episode of the Daily Stand Up Podcast and share with you an uplifting story based on something that recently happened. So I'm sure that we've all heard about the devastation that was caused by Hurricane Helene. It was terrible. And to think that there's another hurricane on the way, at the time of this recording, there's another hurricane on the way, Milton, that's going to hit Florida. And I'm sure it's going to be devastating for them as well. I wanted to share something positive or uplifting because I know that the world is just filled with so many crazy negative news stories. I want to tell you a story about a gentleman named Chef Jose Andres. He did some real life humanitarian work through World Central Kitchen. So let me tell you what happened. After Hurricane Helene caused widespread devastation in western North Carolina in October 2024, Chef Andres and his organization swiftly mobilized to provide thousands of meals to those in need. His tireless efforts have shown the power of kindness, compassion, and community in times of crisis, offering hope and nourishment to people facing the aftermath of the natural disaster. World Central Kitchen is known for showing up in some of the most disaster-stricken areas around the world, bringing relief and a sense of normalcy through warm, nutritious meals. This is just incredible work by Chef Andres. It's a reminder to all of us how individuals can make a monumental difference when they dedicate themselves to helping other people. One of the things that I found interesting, without getting political, is that many of the funds that were allocated for FEMA were diverted or digested and used for other purposes, including helping migrants who came to the U.S. across the border. Now, just like everyone else, I'm definitely pro helping people who are in a time of need and helping all people in a time of need. Especially beginning with the people who are here at home, and then extending that help with any remaining budgetary needs to others. However, dipping into federal emergency management funds to do that proved to be a little bit disheartening, and it caused many residents to not be able to get the funding that they needed to help them survive or to help them thrive until they could get the real help they needed during this time of crisis. So I wanted to share one more piece of this story that was absolutely heartwarming for me. There were very few roads that were accessible going in and out of certain areas due to the storms that were there. And I saw firsthand a couple of things happen. The first thing that I saw was an entire community on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram who got together against the wishes of, I want to make sure I point this out, against the wishes of those who are in authority there. Now, I'm not promoting going against authority, but they went in with chainsaws and with heavy equipment and started to unblock the many of the roads that led into these communities so that they could get into these communities and get the people the help they needed. Now, the other part that was interesting is that there were so many people who wanted to donate supplies, and there was no good place to bring those supplies and no way to get supplies from the place that you could bring them to the people who were devastated. So the combination of this army of people who went and cleared roads and the 60 plus trucks from Walmart who lined up in queue with supplies provided by Walmart to bring those supplies to these people in need. That is what life is all about. That is what humanitarian aid is all about. What I can tell you is I remember September 12th of 2001, and I never wish for another horrific event like September 11th to happen again. But I specifically remember when everyone joined together, and it didn't matter who you voted for, who you loved, who you worshiped, what color your skin was, whether you were tall or short, overweight, underweight, didn't matter. Whoever you were human, you were American, and you were deserving of our help. And it didn't matter how you got here, what path you took to get here, how many kids you had, or if you had kids at all. None of that mattered. We treated people with dignity and respect. And I think that there are lots of organizations, I'll use one as an example, with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they have an organization called Helping Hands. And Helping Hands takes people who are in a region or in an area that can go and help volunteer their time and assist in whatever way they can to help people who are in poverty stricken or a zone where there's been devastation or whatever the case may be. And what I can tell you is that there are countless opportunities for us to be in a service of our fellow man. And I think that sometimes we forget just how easy it is to lose ourselves in the service of others. If you want to really see who you are, if you want to identify what kind of person you are, when you lose yourself in the service of someone else, that's when you discover who you really are. And there's just so much power in turning around what other people are doing, thinking, saying, etc., and creating a way, creating an environment, creating an ecosystem where you can extend yourself to others without retribution. And I hate to say it this way, but finding a way to cut through all the red tape. Now, I never ever condone breaking a law, but what I do feel like is that sometimes, we have so much red tape around not being able to do things that it restricts or ties down our ability to really be of help. So we need to be mindful, prayerful, and thoughtful about obeying the laws of the land and about serving in a time of need and about doing all we can to uplift and strategize on ways that we can help others be successful. Because if we can get to that point, that's where we're going to see market success for all the other things that we do, right? Being successful in one avenue is going to pay dividends by you being successful in another. And I think that's the key message here. This doesn't have to be an us versus them, black versus white, tall versus short, who you love, who you worship, who you vote for. None of that should matter. The world needs a little more kindness. The world needs a little more love. And these people, whether in North Carolina, whether in Kentucky, whether in South Carolina, whether in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, right? It doesn't matter where you are. I don't care where you're in the world, much less in the United States. If people need help, we need to step up and provide that help. And we need to not be blocked from having all the avenues to provide the help that's needed. Because when we're given the opportunity to uplift and serve others and not looking for things in return, that's when we're going to discover who we really are. And that's when great new programs will go in place to help people really thrive in their daily environment and thrive in their lives in general so that they can be a beacon unto others and help bring peace, love, joy, and light into the world. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. Until next week, stay well, stay healthy, and stay agile, my friends. Do take care.